right, so now we're going to go over writing your listicle article. So I want to go over the purpose of a listicle and why they're so effective as a blogger. So you can see these, they're usually short form. They use a list around a certain theme. So you may have something that's food related, travel related. It can be a destination that is very popular or one that's not so popular. A lot of times people want to know what is the best of something or what is the most amazing, because people want to choose an experience or have something that they know is one of the best. They don't want to figure it out. And it can be with anything. It can be for any niche or any type of blog that you have. These type of blog posts have a high click-through rate. And the reason for that is because they're very popular with people. People feel like a listicle is something that they can actually digest and handle. They're usually easy to understand, easy to follow, because it's just a list, and usually someone is going to scan that article, and if there's a particular item that stands out, they're going to stop and read that section. And like I said earlier, they're easy to understand. Now, when you are writing these types of listicle posts, basically you do your research. You figure out, like we were talking about earlier, the best airports. You do your research, and based on either your personal experience or the experiences of others, you can combine that, and then you can come up with your listicle. And this can be for recipes, it can be for tech equipment, or even if you're someone, we go back to our pressure washer, you can say what's the best pressure washer equipment for your new business. You can do it for any kind of industry, because people are always looking for that. Think about some of the things that you looked at, that you were looking for on one of your searches online for something that you wanted to do, experience, or buy. These are great for a buyer's guide because they give comparisons, they give examples. And hopefully you write one that can give somebody a little bit of knowledge for everything that you mentioned. That way they can make a great decision at the end. So these are some examples. Anytime you have a listicle, you start out with your number, and then you have a superlative. You'll see like best, amazing. It might be most incredible or fantastic. And then after that, you have your keyword. And it so happens to be that our keyword is best airports in Florida. Because a lot of times people are Googling best something or best things to do in X location, or best food to eat in X, or 10 amazing apple pie recipes. That's all you do. You do your number, your superlative, your keyword. So let's just write that up here. Your number plus superlative plus keyword equals your listicle title. And you can do the same thing for a blogger. It could be, I use best, but you can pretty much take best out and do top notch cameras for bloggers, or you can do something where you put at some colons, you put beginner's guide if you want to stand out from your competition. And that's basically how you create your listicle post. And here's an example of some of the listicles that I've done in the past. They follow the same kind of format. You basically have your introduction, you list the items, you talk about them, and then you conclude the article. Now, some tips to remember is that the number always goes first. People's eyes just gravitate towards that number. And you want to keep your list kind of short and small. We discussed this earlier in the title section. But I like to keep my listicles between 5 and 15. Those have seemed to be really good numbers for me. Something that I don't really share often is these are the type of numbers that I usually do for my listicles. I do 5, 7, sometimes 10, because I don't know, some people Google top 10. So I might do that. I do 13, 15, and if I do a larger list, I'll do 21. Because it's just those kind of numbers that people are just used to. And you notice that most of my numbers are odd numbers, because odd numbers just have some type of psychology on human beings. It is just what we gravitate towards. And sometimes when we use a whole number, the human mind works so crazy and weird that we might think that you left something out just to kind of complete a number. But you can test it out. Always test out things with your own audience to see where you get the higher click-through rate. But for me, I get much more success with odd numbers. And we discussed that earlier in the titles lesson, so you might have to go back to that one. Now, throughout my article for my listicle, I do like to add bonus tips This is what you'll see on my website, where there might be a section that says hipster power tip. So throughout the article, I might add a little detail about a specific location or a specific item on that blog post. So I might say hipster power tip. This airport gets busy at a certain time of the day, so you may want to come at this time. Then I might add a Q&A section at the end of the article, and also a tip section at the end of the article, just to kind of flesh out the article and give the reader a complete guide on that particular subject. So that is how you can do your listicle article for your blog.